Hey everybody, Derek here to bring another video for Z Nation. I'm sorry I wasn't able to make videos for a few days. I've been sick with a little bit of a cold. I lost my voice. It's now starting to come back. I might cough a little bit in this video, so if I do, pardon me, I do apologize. But this is a big video, and I did not want to wait any longer. I read, and maybe some of you have too, an interview with the creators of Z Nation that was posted on Spoiler TV and another website the other day, revealing big key details about Z Nation's upcoming season. And I'm going to say what happened in this interview and what it's going to mean for season 2. So big spoiler warning, if you do not want to know anything about Z Nation's upcoming season, don't watch the video because you probably will be spoiled. Okay, so again, this is what they said. They asked several questions, and one of them was, when is the season going to pick up? And the answer is, season 2 will pick off right where season 1 left off. We'll find out who lives and who got killed. Doesn't necessarily mean that somebody will get killed, but we will at least find out right away. There won't be any question. There won't be any curious, did somebody survive or not. I guess that we will know what happened to everybody in episode 1. Second was a question about Dr. Kurian. Apparently there was a picture, it was either posted on the web or Twitter or something, that showed Dr. Kurian. And he appeared to be disfigured. How he was disfigured, I don't know. I don't know whether part of his face got burnt, if his body was burned, if he lost the body part, I'm not sure. But it does say here, when asked about Dr. Kurian, the response was, Kurian will survive in a spectacular fashion, but he will be disfigured. So, earlier when I said that maybe the nukes won't go off at all, I don't think that that's going to be the case. I think that it really does seem that some of the nukes will go off. And, maybe they're able to get out of the blast zone just in time before they actually fall. Not sure about everything, but it almost seems that something's going to happen. And whereas even if the nukes may not go off, or not all of them, something's going to happen. And more about that later on in the video here. So they were also asked, what's the overall plot of season 2 going to be? And it was said the following. Season 2 will still generally be about Murphy getting to California. The theme is about finding the cure. Everyone is more desperate. You will see after the nuclear bombs are set off, kind of like a Holocaust, everybody that is left is even more in survival mode. They realize they may not make it as a species. Other groups in season 1 tried it and failed, so everyone is looking for a cure, and Murphy's identity kind of blows up. And that makes for a whole new level of danger for our characters because everybody's after Murphy now. Lots of things in this video. In this paragraph. So it almost seems to indicate that the bombs will go off, or at least some of them will. And the fallout from that, may be pretty severe. That maybe they do survive, but kind of like how if that nuclear power plant would have blown up in South Dakota, I think it was. If that would have happened, that would have wiped out that whole entire portion, and there may be fallout because of, these bombs going off. So I think that they're at a point now where we're going to see a lot of desperation and a lot of, just being in a very bad position. And they're getting more desperate for the cure. So it almost seems like, going after Murphy and getting this information is essential. It's something that they want. They're saying that they don't know whether they're going to survive as a species, and I think that a lot of that has come down to, them seeing the groups. It says other groups in season 1 tried and failed. I mean, the cannibals are totally insane. That general in the 4th episode was absolutely insane. That family ended up getting eaten in episode 4. You had the Sisters of Mercy that may fail. in season 2. And just in general, some of the ways that they survive are just inhumane. I understand that, sometimes you have a different belief about surviving, but if it involves killing other people, that may not necessarily be the best way to survive. It's not doing what, is best for society as a whole if you want to reestablish society. So it seems like everyone will be looking for the cure. Now, whether that means they're going to suffer from radiation issues, I don't know. Or if it just means, well, we need something because now the zombies are, maybe more of a threat now. That's a possibility too. There's a lot going on. And then we have everyone is looking for Murphy. So what does that mean? That obviously means that Kurian's looking for him. It means that the group is looking for him. But what if everybody else in the world is looking for him as well? They have the ability to get out on the radio and talk about, people. So either Citizen Z might get on there and go, hey, be on the lookout for Murphy, or Kurian might have his own associates going out there and basically putting up signs or putting up, billboards that hypothetically you might have, radios, signals going out about Murphy. It is a possibility that we may find individuals that are after Murphy that have never been after Murphy before and could pose a threat to, reestablishing everything. People might try to kill him, use him for their own purpose. And of course, Murphy's identity blowing up, I think in a way that's the conflict within him. Now that he shed his skin, we don't know what he looks like. He could look totally different. And he might look at himself and be like, oh my gosh, what in the world am I? And, again, have an identity break. Not really knowing who he is, what he's supposed to do. And that may be disastrous to people that he comes across, which a little bit more of that information will be down in the paragraphs below. But it will definitely be an insane season. The next thing was asked, well, what characters are coming back from season 1? All of the main cast members, as far as I can tell, and some of the ones that we saw in season 1. Sketchy and Skeezy, those guys that are always selling things to the group. They held that FU bar, shooting competition. They are back. I'm so happy about that. Apparently, from what this interview said, they described it as they were doing a Mississippi River episode with 10,000, kind of like a Huck Finn type of story. Now, I'm not too familiar with that story. I read it a long, long time ago, but I'm not as familiar with it now. But it almost seems like they're going on some kind of adventure, and I think that it will be interesting. But part of me also wonders if Sketchy and Skeezy might end up becoming something of a threat to Murphy. If they mean that everybody is after Murphy, these guys are mostly about making a profit. They're mostly about finding a way to benefit themselves. It may be dangerous, and we may see that they might try to take Murphy for their own particular reasons. I don't know, but it will definitely be interesting to see what kind of a role they play. I wouldn't mind if they played more of the humorous role that they're into, but they may change them for the purposes of season 2. We'll just have to wait and see. Other people that are coming to the show. Emilio Rivera. If you guys don't know who he is, he's an actor. Mostly known right now, I guess, for playing Marcus Alvarez on Sons of Anarchy, the Mayan biker president. Definitely a tough guy. He looks tough, and I can't wait to see what kind of a role he does have. He is Hispanic, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Matt Cedeno is also Hispanic as well. So it makes me wonder if there's some kind of a connection between these two characters. That maybe they lived they might have lived, somewhere in Central America, may have migrated to the United States during the zombie apocalypse, because we don't really know what the situation is like in other countries. So maybe some countries might be better than others to be in. It kind of reminds me of Resident Evil, like when they flew the plane over to Alaska, thinking that Alaska might be a safe place since it's colder, that maybe the zombies might move slower. Plus, there's not as big of a population there. But I guess from what I understand, he's doing a 6-episode arc, and if I'm not mistaken, his character's name is Scorpion. That's E and then Scorpion, the word. So it sounds like he's playing somebody tough, maybe a villain, or maybe just somebody who poses a threat to the group. It definitely sounds like somebody that would be against our group of survivors. Perhaps he may be working for Kurian. He may be working for some other entity. He may just be working as himself with a bunch of people who are trying to get Murphy for their own purpose. Again, Kurian may be, taking several people and, telling them to go out there and find Murphy, or perhaps he might even be offering a reward. And people all around might try to, jump on that reward. So he may be one of the people associated with that. And we'll just have to wait and see. Excuse me. Matt Cedeno's character, I think his name was Vasquez, if I'm not mistaken. They described him as antagonistic. He tags along and shadows the characters. He's after Murphy. So it does appear that he is after Murphy, not after Kurian. But again, with his character kind of being conflicted, he may realize that he's working for the wrong side. They describe that there are going to be some tense emotional episodes. So part of me wonders if he's going to be caught within this struggle of, well, do I support, Warren's group, or do I support Scorpion, Dr. Kurian, or my own interests? So he may struggle with that. And we'll just have to wait and see. But they do describe him as antagonistic. And then Pie Girl will be back. Now, from what I understand, that's the girl that Murphy had relations with in Sisters of Mercy. So that is exciting. They don't necessarily say whether other people will be back, but they do specifically say that she will be back. I believe the actress's name is Sarah Coates, and they say that they have a great arc for her. So I'll be very interested to see what kind of a role she plays. Again, I don't think it's a coincidence that they centered on her belly when they ended Sisters of Mercy. I think she's pregnant, or if she's not pregnant, then, Murphy's fluids potentially could affect other people. Because we saw when he spit in the water with that girl in Murphy's Law, he could control her too. So it may not just be a bite, it could be any contact. So she may not necessarily be pregnant, but I think it's more likely that she is. And I'm very interested to see what happens. Maybe that she, turns into something like Cassandra and destroys the Sisters of Mercy community, and that's how Addie escapes. We'll see. Doc has hardcore, scary zombie action in an early episode. So really, we wonder, how is Doc's gunshot wound going to be treated? And who knows, he may be sitting on some kind of bed, weak. He may be doing some crazy stuff. I'd be very interested to see what this means. But at least it demonstrates that Doc is still alive. And again, my hope is that he does pull through. I don't want to see him die. I think he would be he's a great character in general. But, this may indicate that he's on the road to recovery. Knock on wood. Mac and Addie, news on them. Mac and Addie will return in a big way. They'll be back, and there will be lots to do with them. Their storylines come back together this season, and they finally get away from the Sisters of Mercy. Now, the way that sounds, it almost seems like the sisters have Mac. Or they might get him. There's a very big possibility that they may get a hold of him and hold him, captive for some reason. We don't really know what happened. We only saw Mac for a brief instant in the season finale. But I'm assuming that he still has the goal of going after Addie. And I think that in some way those two are going to meet up. Now, whether it's in the compound, outside the compound, what it is, we don't know. But we do know they will return. It doesn't necessarily say when, but I'm assuming it will be early. They'll be back. There was lots to do with them, so they might be working out their problems. And I think that it's going to be great to see what exactly they do with them. I think it's going to be a great season in that respect. More news on Murphy. Murphy is still transitioning into what he will become. Murphy realizes his powers of biting people and turning them into a blended human zombie that he can control. There's still more than the vaccine with his blood, and that is a big part of season 2, which I think is great. Excuse me. So Murphy is still, changing. And that may happen throughout the whole season. We may see some more things with him. We may see he has more powers to offer. What is in his blood? Not sure. But I think that Kurian has an idea. And I think that's why he's after Murphy. Why he came in there and did what he did. So I think that a lot of that is going to be about, different people going after Murphy for different reasons. And then Murphy maybe realizing, hey, I got this power. And I don't have to, worry about anything anymore. So he may come across people, bite them, control them, and amass a big, army of people that are going to defend him and do what he wants, which makes him so dangerous. I could definitely see that happening, where he comes across people, they threaten him, he bites them or does something to them that allows him to control them, and maybe he might send them after Warren and the rest of the group. He might send them after Kurian's group. Lots of different possibilities here. But I am very interested to see what they're going to do about that. But I think that we're going to find out more about what Murphy is, what he's going to be, and it's going to be insane. But I think that Murphy is definitely going to be a big threat going into season 2. Not just for himself, but for anybody that's trying to hunt him. Finally, we have here, everybody's favorite characters will be back in season 2 in some fashion. DJ Qualls hinted that his character wasn't killed off on Twitter. So there's a good chance that Citizen Z will be back. And I'm fine with that. I think that there is more that they can do with him. He can be more involved with the search for Murphy. And as long as they keep that story interesting, I have no problem with him being a part of the show. But I don't want to see another Tsunami. Okay, let's hold off on that, please. That's all I want to see out of that for season 2. And finally, the big news. They've revealed that the show will probably premiere in September, but they have not made a premiere date. But we do know how many episodes there are going to be in season 2. More? Less? The same? More. 15 episodes for season 2. That is exciting. The fact that they have given more episodes to Z Nation in season 2 shows that they have a lot of confidence in this show. It shows that they're appreciating the audience, appreciating the work that's being done, and I think that as long as they, follow formats that they did in season 1, I think that this is going to be great. Having these episodes can be a benefit. It can also be a little bit of a problem, but I think that they're going to turn it around and make it something excellent. I am so excited that there are 15 episodes. That means more Z Nation, more fun, more action, and I can't wait. So I'm going to bring this video to a close, and I'm getting high up on time here. I don't like making them too long, but there was a lot here, and I wanted to get it all out. I'm very excited about Z Nation Season 2. If you guys have any questions or comments, don't be afraid to leave them. Feel free to subscribe. I do have more videos coming. My next video is probably going to be showing the promotional photos that they've revealed and explaining what I think that means. They have revealed some early behind-the-scenes photos, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching, and have a very wonderful day. Thank you.